This is the magicwordpodcast.com.
Never won the FISM prize outside this convention hall. Few of us are known at all, but we're known internally. So for guys like you and me, FISM is the place to be. The pros are running free. All the dealers sell the same. Never mind from where they came. Only here, every car your contact number. Only here, I need to hear only number. Only here, no one uses smarts to play. If cars are too good, we did. Only here, the wallets don't need data. Only here, I'm looking good without you. Only here, and zombies and training. All the still is the place to be. These pros are running free. When we leave, we're pressing forward. Only here we're feeling normal. So much creativity came from this fraternity. FISM's best for acts to start and to celebrate the art. So I'm sure we all agree. FISM is the place to be. FISM for eternity.
This morning we are in day 4 here in Turin of the FISM 2025 and having a great time last evening at the Palace. You heard the podcast and how much we enjoyed that, and talking with Marc DeSouza, you kind of heard some of the background noise when I was going down. Thousands of people here. It was amazing. Well, this morning we're starting up again with the close-up contest, as well as other lectures and everything else is going on simultaneous. But I've got with me right now a fellow who actually owns a theater down in Spain. Portugal? Spain.
Spain.
Yeah, and he also is the father of one of the guy who actually opened the stage competition yesterday afternoon, Harry Merlin Piper, who was fantastic. Anyhow, I've got with me now Rodney James Piper. How are you, Rodney?
Oh, how are you, Scott? Great to see you. I think the last time we spoke was in Blackpool.
Texas.
Oh, Texas. It was Texas before.
We did Blackpool this last year.
Yeah,
of course,
yeah.
my gosh.
All
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that's right.
All good. I'm currently managing the British team. Everything is going great. We've got one of our performers in the close-up show in a few seconds, Edward Hilsum. Harry was really proud what he did last night.
In the show.
Edward
I love him.
Hilsum.
I
He's
did an
actually
episode
just wandering past us at the moment, all in mood, so he's all good to go.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to exciting. So we've been just making sure that everything's right for him and all good to go. Harry last night, he didn't do everything exactly. There was a couple of technical issues, and the light was so dark. The lights didn't come on at the front.
I wondered about that, if that was a choice or if that
Not
was
a
just
choice.
Okay.
Not a choice. It was a shame, really. He was really frustrated about it afterwards.
Yeah.
But he was the first person to tech in the whole competition.
Mm-hmm.
So the tech crew is still finding what you... If you notice, you can tell the people who teched on day one because the lightings are more basic.
That's
The ones who have teched later on, they've got better thing. Here at the close-up, what is great, Joan Caesar and Mike run a tight ship.
Yes.
They're fantastic. And I think in the stage comp, they need someone like Joan or Mike who's got the experience, who knows what to do
Right.
to run it quietly. Because in the stage comp, there were some people who had 10 minutes, some people had 20 minutes, some people even had 45 minutes tech time. And it was all a little on day one. Day two, they got it all straight. They had the screen, the time, and everything like that. So it was a bit of chaotic the first day, which is understandable if you've got a new team. The tech crew do nothing wrong.
Right.
They've never done this before.
Right. First time they're all together.
Yeah, by having that experience at hands here in the close-up theatre, it ran like clockwork on day
See, that's
one.
the problem with a lot of Magic conventions. We'll have like 2 gala shows, and the tech team's trying to get together. By the time they get it down, it's over. You've only got a couple shows. Here we got 6 days, and lots of competition.
Lots and lots of competition.
Yeah. It's fantastic. No, I was wondering about that because I thought that when Harry was doing his excellent manipulation, he was in the dark. It's like, he's not doing any black art. I don't understand why is this, had the light shining in her eyes, and it's like,
The lighting was terrible.
Well, anyhow, that aside, there's Edward Hilsum right now. He's getting ready. He's going to be on early, so wishing him some good luck. And we're going to have a full roster here this morning. You were just talking a while ago, a minute, about the importance of having volunteers that can speak English.
Yeah. So it's important. You've got acts that do verbal cues, they're talking to people, so you need people who can speak English.
And English is the primary language of FISM.
Need to be there, so we need to make sure that all the volunteers speak English. We're lucky that we've got our United States friends.
Yeah.
They're ready to be volunteers for the day, so it's good seeing some familiar faces out there who all speak English. So
Yeah.
we're all good and ready to go.
Yeah. Have you found anything in the dealer's room that...
A video cassette. I'm not going to say anything about it.
Okay.
But if you find the video cassette, it's incredible.
Okay, do you need a machine to play it?
No, it's not a video cassette that you need. You talk about it and something happens with it. I'm not going to give you anything else.
Search
an
for
incredible
it. That's
video
enough
cassette.
of a mystery. Very good. Rodney, good talking to you.
Great to speak to you as well, Scott.
Thank you very
Lots
much.
of love, mate. Good.
Thanks a lot.
Great to speak to all my friends across the world on the Magic Word podcast.
And be sure to go to your theater, which is working.
Yeah, come to Salou if you're ever near Barcelona. We're an hour south, a place, it's called House of Illusion in Salou. Come and see us. Your friends are always our friends. Message me if you want to come over and I'll look after you.
There he is. So the Magic Word Podcast is Rodney Piper, Scotty out. We have just finished the evening gala show, extravaganza, marathon's a word I'm looking for, I guess. It was phenomenal. 12 acts.
12 acts in 2.5 hours.
And they kept right on time. Mike Caveney was the MC.
And barely any stage waits between. I mean, setups, breakdown, but I mean, these are all pros. These are all pros that are used to working real theaters, real shows, cabaret shows, theater shows, whatever. So they're on, they're off.
Yeah, they had them down perfect. And so, unlike the stage contest and the close-up contest, took some time. And that's what we're here to talk about then right now, really the contests and everything that happened. Because, again, there were so many other things that were happening that we missed out on here today. Like the things that were competing against the close-up competition happened to be Armando Lucero's solo show, Marco Zoppi's lecture. Of course, the dealer's room were open. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about, the dealer's room. They did have video in there.
Yes,
so
of the competitions.
Yes.
So you could stay in there like at the cafe in the dealer room. You could sit there and watch the competitions.
Without getting into the tent and going outside, and you can still do shopping and everything. And so it's great for everybody.
Great idea. Great idea.
Yeah. Danny Ortiz had a workshop. Laurent Perron had a lecture. Luc Germain gave a lecture on mentalism. Armando continued with a lot of his stuff. Matt King had a lecture for the VIPs. That's one of the advantage of paying another €100, actually, because there were quite a few of these things, like David Williamson and others had VIP experiences.
And I didn't see a single one.
No, exactly.
I got the VIP, but, we were committed to doing that stage and close-up competition for your listeners.
That's right. That's right. We are dedicated to you guys. We are committed, or we should be. Paul Wilson session. There was also then Come and Meet, Danny Ortiz show, Michael Lamar lecture, Patrick Kuhn. We had Flip. Was Flip here?
Not that Flip. This is an Italian Flip.
Okay.
Different Flip.
Never mind. Alain Choquette. And we had Richard Wiseman who was interviewing Luis D'Amatos. And we had a Gazzo lecture. Aaron Crow did his solo show. I so wanted to see that and missed that. Topaz had a show.
Well, right, yeah, I think it's going on right now is the Topaz solo show.
Well, it starts at 11:30. That's right, as we're speaking here.
Yeah, like we haven't had enough magic today.
This has been magic overload for some people, but I tell you, we just can't get enough, can we, Mark?
No, I'm ready to go to sleep. Thank you.
But not until we tell you guys what happened, because we're going to start off with the close-up competition this morning, which was marvelous.
Fantastic. We started off with Magic Jose, who also competed in stage. Did a routine utilizing the Matrix Force, the number Force, and a deck in a bottle. And turned out that the card that was selected via the Matrix Force was at that number in the bottle. So, cool idea. Reasonably okay opening there. He was
Bertram Mora.
Right, Bertram Mora. Really did an Agatha Christie routine. It was a murder mystery routine for cards, and it was a very good script. He takes the ad cards, puts them in the box, card is selected, and eventually appears between those two ad cards in the box, but not before he produces 3 matching cards, which vanish and appears in the spread deck. Really, really very good. It was a very good routine. Not super high-powered, but very, very commendable. Mm-hmm. Nice routine. He was followed by Starman, Sergio Starman, our buddy from Fectors. What a great act this was.
Yeah.
This was the first of our great story acts for the day, and it is just a wonderful storyline. There's he's like a depressed guy. He's got a bottle of whiskey. He's got a whiskey glass. He's got a
picture of his wife or
wife or girlfriend.
Well, he had a wedding band, so it must be his wife.
Exactly. So, and the wedding band. And just basically to tell you that the wedding band keeps disappearing and appearing in strange places, and the picture keeps falling down every time he tries to take a drink of whiskey. And the ring appears under the whiskey glass, under the whiskey bottle, under the picture frame, in front of the picture frame that just fell onto it. And then they vanish and appears on his finger. Vanish from his finger, appears on his thumb. It was just so fast-paced you could barely follow it, and yet it was so simple and crystal clear. Amazing storyline. He got an amazing hand and deserved it. He was so good. I certainly hope he's in the running for one of the prizes. He was followed by Edward Hilsford from the UK. Edward's been doing this act for a few years now. Basically, he asks somebody to bring up a picture of a good memory, and he brings them on stage. Does a coin routine he calls Silver. It's a 3-coin production and then vanish sequence, very lovely. But then he's got a picture of himself at the age of 7 when he saw his first magic show. That's in this picture frame, and he brings that picture frame out and has the person put it on their hand, and in essence, he talks to them about the great memories in that photo that he showed them, or she showed him. And he has her turn over the picture frame, and that picture is in the picture frame.
Printed in there.
Printed in the picture, which he gives to her as a souvenir.
Yeah.
Really cool routine. It's tech, but it doesn't feel like tech. It's just a nice emotional piece that he presents in a beautiful way.
Couple things. Edward is a past winner for the Magic Circle. He's won actually the Children's Award.
He's won all 3 awards.
All 3 awards.
He's
the
won the stage,
Circle,
stage close up, yeah.
And Children's. And also, you were talking about he was doing a coin routine, and you might think, okay, why did he do that? Then and try to kill some of the time because he had so much else to do with the rest of this. And as I understand it, I found out today, apparently you just can't do one trick in the contest.
Correct.
You have to have something else.
Correct. Yeah, and that is a FISM rule. An act is not a single trick, a single effect.
Yeah.
So you can have effects that have multiple phases that have different effects within the main effect. That's okay, but just the direct picture appearing in a frame is just a little not quite enough. Yeah.
Next.
So he's followed by one of the hits, Kim Moon-do from Korea. Kim Moon was, I think, one of the very early Korean performers to begin competing, and he's been doing this act for years, but every time you see it, it's a little bit different and it gets cranked up. I call it the arrow act. It's basically a card with an arrow printer, and every time he produces this card, it's pointing. Wherever it's pointing is where the next card appears.
Yeah.
And basically, I mean, he's
so engaging, so funny. He comes on, I'm from Korea. Not that one, but the other Korea.
Yeah, South Korea, not the other one. So, I mean, he produces the 4 aces, but does it in this electrifying manner, using the arrow where you think the ace is going to be. It's not. That's the arrow and points to someplace else.
Yeah.
And this is just a running bit. He eventually produces, takes a shuffle deck, and it comes back into its original order. But then he started, this was new, productions of card cases. He was looking for the last card and just starts pulling card cases out of his pocket. And the card cases start moving. He must have pulled 35 card cases. He started
stacking them for a while. It looked like a tower of Pisa over there that had, maybe, like I said, 30 or so cards plus strewn all over.
Unbelievable.
Amazing.
But there were so many gags in this act, and the whole act is so well constructed, right down to producing a large sign that points to the spectator to give them a hand, and then a bigger sign to point to him.
He's the star.
Yeah, just fun. He was followed by Do-won Park, very high energy act. It was basically like a desk where there was a book, a cup, and a ball. And it is vanishes and appearances of a single ball in the cup. And then weird stuff starts happening, like the ball changes colors, and still the ball vanishes and appears in the cup. And then they multiply. and then the cup changes color and the balls change color. It's a wild act, super high energy, very fast-paced act, very, very clever. Full marks to him. He really did a great job. I think there was a lot of variety in that act, and the audience really appreciated it. He was followed by Martin Hansen from, I believe, Sweden.
Yeah.
We'd seen this act before, and again, it's a lovely storyline act where he comes out kind of as this dour character with a red balloon and wearing a clown nose, carrying a suitcase, and in essence, he's doing cups and balls with clown noses, but so much stuff happens during it, and it's a real character piece.
It is. There's a storyline, once again, they had, like we've been talking about the last couple of days, where it's not a dream sequence so much, but it's something that is his journey through life. In other words, I guess I'm a clown, but I'm going to give it up. This is kind of what I was getting out of it.
Yep.
And I was going to give it up, but he can't give it up. It keeps coming back. There's more noses that keep coming in. And then at the end, it's kind of like he just has to accept his lot in life, and he walks back out.
Yeah, the suitcase, he opens the suitcase, and now it's filled with these clown noses.
Yeah.
And then he packs it up, and as he's walking off, the balloon, which floated out of his hand to begin with, now floats back down to his hand. And there's this lovely, almost like a silhouette at the end. It's just a gorgeous moment, which I think you took a beautiful picture.
I did take a picture, yeah. I suggest if you go to the website for the magicwordpodcast.com, you can see a photo that I took of it.
Yep. He was followed by Christopher Brandis, who had a very clever conceit. It was the spectator as the magician, and he was the spectator.
Oh, yeah.
And he starts with a redback separation where he, as he pulls out a card, he asks them whether they think it's red or black, and they're always right. And, you know, I love when people take old ideas that everybody's forgotten about, brings them back, and fools the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
And this was that case, and I'll just say Whithaven. That's all I'll say. Henry Evans did it in Lisbon with a Carol Fox trick. And, you know, he's done it here with a great Whithaven idea. But then, you know, he goes on from there. Magician selects a card, signs it, it vanishes, and then appears under the spectator, or under the magician, we'll say.
Yeah.
He was actually
That's
a spectator.
right.
And
Exactly.
he finishes with a very clever A-cam, any card in any number. So, another nice act. Followed by Al Parasar. I had some notes here where he was. Oh, yeah. This is one of those acts that you see at every FISM. An act that really should not be there. I mean, how this act got in, we're not sure. It opens. He's got his own backdrop and his own like little theater, and there is what I can only describe as a talking jelly.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
This was the weirdest thing for the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Or the week.
The week. And I was getting texts from people after this act saying, you know, best kids act I've ever seen. He should be booked at every convention. This is, you know, this is an act that...
It did look like some sort of a Jell-O mold or something.
It was a face,
yeah.
and it talked.
And imagine something like a puppet theater. So you have like this little proscenium, I guess, that he kind of was behind, basically.
Yeah. It was frightening.
That's the word. It was kind of creepy and frightening.
It was creepy, and not in a good way. And then he starts out, they take away the jelly, and he's there, and he's painting coins on the table with a brush, and then he paints his tongue on the table.
Yeah, because he dips the paintbrush in his tongue, and then he starts wiping that paintbrush on the close-up pad, and then tongues appear.
Yep, and then, you know, he's trying to get some coffee, and he's got the jitters and spilling all over the place. It ends with basically a decapitation where his head flies off his body and it is spurting liquid out of it.
Yes.
Out
of his neck.
Out of his neck.
That looked like the original thing to begin with. It kind of looked like a Jell-O mold.
Exactly. Yeah. It was just plain creepy. The
next Punch and Judy act.
Well, not hardly. He was followed by Kenneth, who was in the parlor category. You know, it works with bubbles, but not like blowing bubbles just to blow bubbles. He's blowing bubbles in his magic tricks. So he blows a bubble, and it visibly becomes a coin. And he keeps doing that. It was a beautiful miser's dream, using bubbles to produce the coins.
I thought one of the clever ideas was when he was blowing the bubble, and it would come and land in the bucket, and then it would clink.
Right.
Because he had been making these bubbles into coins and then dropping the coins into the thing, but then he let some of the bubbles go into it. I thought, clever idea.
And then at some point he produces a solid bubble. He's producing jumbo coins.
The jumbo coin really brought a lot of gas.
Yeah, at the end he had one coin that he produced from a bubble, and then you watch it visibly disintegrate.
That's right.
And then he turns over the bucket, and
no coins.
And there's no coins. It's all glitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, they turn to glitter. So well-constructed act, well-executed, really cool idea. He was followed by Tom Merton. I had the honor of being his assistant from the audience. He had a bunch of gags with pulling out off his thumb, and like you pull up his thumb and dump a coin out. And this was a whole thing that was repeated.
You get a Sharpie and everything out.
Oh, yeah, it pulls out a Sharpie and ends up pulling his thumb off. You see the thumb that he pulled off. It's a thumb tip, but, good thinking. He has a production 4 aces. He has a card signed, and the card appears within the 4 aces. Really good technique, solid construction, really great personality. It was a pleasure to watch him and a pleasure to assist him.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah, he was followed by Jeffrey Wang, who has appeared in a bunch of competitions and in a bunch of conventions now. We're familiar with him. Amazing coin work. I know this is all magicians, basically, but he is a master of sleeving, and he sleeves like you've never seen before, including sleeving in short sleeves. It's pretty damned amazing stuff. The whole act was basically transposition of coins, back and forth from hand to hand, changes from one coin to another. Was
he the one who dropped one coin?
He did.
I think there was one who's trying to sleeve, but he just
keeps going. Yeah. Just keeps going. Yeah. Yeah, it's not like it matters if you don't get one, you get the next.
That's right.
But, he's producing jumbos, he's doing color changes. Yeah. It's everything happening in less than 10 minutes. But amazing technique, great sleeving, really fun. Next act was one I know everybody was looking forward to, and he sure came through. Morton Christensen.
Who won comedy in Quebec last year.
In Quebec.
3 years ago.
Yeah, well-deserved, and boy, I think he's on his way to win it again. This was just a phenomenal act where a card is selected in the freest possible manner. Not pulled out, I mean created mentally, freest possible, and he just starts producing
more and more of the same card.
And more of the same. However, he comes out and he's got this cardboard chip can that's stuck on his hand, like a Pringles can. And this is stuck on his hand for most of the act. And there are so many gags that happens with this. But he does these multiple revelations, and then, in addition to producing cards, is now producing chips. And he's eating the chips. And then produces a glass of orange juice and gives it to the spectator. And he just keeps going with this. And eventually, the chip can came off, and he's doing more and more. His jacket has the card inside. His shirt that he's wearing under this jacket changes. And then turns backwards.
So it's buttoned on the back.
Exactly. And then changes back again.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. It was just a barrage.
Well, I was on stage assisting him, and I could not see anything there.
Yeah.
Fooled the heck out of him.
It was a barrage of amazing. And the can appears back on his hand, of course. Yeah. And he ends up pulling a glass of orange juice out of his fly.
That's right.
And walks
at
off
the
with
end.
that. Yeah. But, boy, they came to see Mark Morton, and he delivered.
Yeah, because he couldn't get the cards out of his hip pocket, and so the deck of cards, he would shake his leg, and they would rise out of his hip pocket.
Right, because he couldn't take it out with a chip can on his hand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Yeah, pretty funny.
Yeah.
Followed by Hugo Maximiliano. This was a repeat ace routine. But it was an asymmetric transposition. So he had a selected card and 4 matching cards, 4 aces. And they would transpose 4 for 1. And it's one of my favorite plots, and he did it 3 times. And it was really good. And he finishes up with the ultimate interchange where, 4 cards of a like cards like 4 fours go in the pockets, and they change places one by one with like 4 queens. Good, solid card act. I think the audience appreciated. He was followed by the Mad Hatter from the UK. Guy dressed, obviously, as the Mad Hatter.
I thought you might like that. You have an affinity for
I
Alice
have
in Wonderland.
an affinity for Alice in Wonderland, but I just couldn't follow this act. It
Really?
was
Okay.
really, it was confusing. And though I speak English, I don't speak English. So some of the script did not
Hard to
come
follow.
across.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard to follow. But it was a whole act based around tea and a tea party, tea cakes and cups of tea. Followed by Nojima, who got a huge reaction from some dice tricks. He starts out with 2 large dice that disintegrate into regular-sized dice, like casino dice. And he's got 3 red dice and 1 white die, and he's holding them between his finger and thumb in a stack. And the white die just keeps moving up 1 die at a time.
Right.
And it's like watching the old Owen Blue Phantom, but without a cover and with dice
I was
instead
about
of
to say
checkers.
Cuba Libre, but
Cuba Libre kind of thing, but I think it's more closely related to Blue Phantom.
Blue Phantom.
But he did this several times, and it was pretty darn mystifying. I got no idea how it happened. And then he did his linking dice, which he's been doing for a number of years.
Never seen that before. That linking
Wow.
dice was for those who may know the cork trick, where you put the cork
Correct.
in the crotch of your thumb, and then you can kind of do it. He didn't have it in the crotch of his thumb. He's got it just at his fingertips from the beginning.
Index finger and
Starts
thumb.
there and he ends there. It's
And
amazing.
he's got them in each hand, and he just basically brings his hands together, and
They are-
one stack penetrates through the other.
Yeah.
And he does it in a number of different ways.
and then he
including-
drops the dice, so they're single. They're
Oh,
not
yeah.
magnetic. They're
Yep,
they're
not gapped.
Yeah.
And then he has the spectator hold them, and he penetrates it through.
Right.
And he's got some gags afterwards with giant dice, but I don't
Kinda
think
made
he
your
should have
point.
done it.
Yeah.
I don't think he should. I think he should have just ended with the linking dice, because that's what brought him to the table, and boy,
Yeah.
that's what they wanted.
It was great.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Very cool.
He was followed by another crowd favorite, Mark Obi. Mark Obi won the card competition at the last FISM. Again, different act. Same kind of character. He's funny. He's a funny guy. And I just put, he's the best. What more can you say? There is so much happening during this, and his technique, his card technique is, number one, disarming as hell, and so incredible. And it's, reminiscent of Leonard Green. It's this messy card style.
That's right, yeah.
But it wasn't as messy as it was last time. It was a little more tied down. But again, very, very good. There were transpositions, impossible locations, and he had Sean Farquhar up with him, and he has him pick a pile, and Sean is really deliberating over this, and he picks the pile, and afterwards, he got the card right where it was supposed to be, and he goes, "Should have picked the other damn pile."
Yeah.
It's a
free choice.
I don't know if it'll matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, Mark Obi's got incredible techniques. He wrote a book about his old FISM act. Wrote an entire book on it. It's really just to read his thinking is really interesting.
And that was Mark Kobe. How do you spell his name?
Mark Kobe, Markobi.
There we go. So you can look it up.
Yeah, his real name is Mark Betar, but Mark Kobe is what he goes by. Followed by Rune Carlson, another one of our 4F buddies. He did a routine. We saw him do it 4F, and it's pretty cool. He brings out this this
Pillbox.
a pill box. I was going to say Okito box, but it's a pill box. And he pulls out 3 pills and pockets them, and coins appear in this box one by one, despite the fact that he shows it so cleanly, openly, and freely. He produces the 3 coins. He does a couple of sequences with the coins, and then he has the coins signed and put back into the box, and the box disintegrates.
Just crushes it.
Yeah.
Like paper mache.
It's like, yeah. And he says the coins are on the table. And he takes the cover off the table, and is a clear plexiglass top. And the coins, 3 signed coins, are embedded in the lucite. There are no seams, no flaps, no nothings. It looks like it really happened.
Well, I was sitting there, and I'd signed one of the coins, and I was, and I saw him do it at Fechter's also. Yeah. But I was sitting a few rows back, and I thought, boy, I'd love to see this up close. Well, I couldn't have. It was amazing.
It was pretty cool. He was followed by Billy Shui from Canada, doing his Think a Drink routine.
Love that routine.
Billy, just such a wonderful personality. He's got great
He was
chops.
having fun and had a
Exactly. He's himself on stage. He's having a good time. But basically, it is an utterly impossible think-and-drink routine. He has a teapot, fully examinable teapot. He has somebody open a bottle of water, pours it in, has a drink selected from a menu, and he pours out that drink, and it's the drink. It was a lemon drop. And then pours more, and shows it empty again, pours more water in. Here, choose a wine off the list. Burgundy. Pours in Burgundy and opens up the teapot, pours it out of the base of the teapot, so you can see unmistakably empty, and he wipes it out, so it's clean, and then finally does a pina colada. And it's just thoroughly baffling. I was told the judges were fooled. They were fooled.
And at the end, he handed the teapot to the volunteer and said, "Keep it, my gift to you."
Exactly. Thoroughly examinable. So it's Billy's been working on this for a couple of years. Thoroughly impossible.
And then he added another trick, and I thought, that's why I was wondering, why did he have another trick? And then somebody said, that's when you have to have a second trick.
And I had talked to him about it because I was working with a number of the competitors.
Yeah.
And basically he takes the glass with pina colada and just puts his other hand on top and crushes it. And it's just a piece of paper, and he throws it away. Very, very clever act. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. And the finisher for the day was Josh Staley from New Zealand, I believe.
You're right.
Yeah, and he had probably 8 people up there with him, each signing and selecting cards and/or signing them. And there was a bottle of wine that he kept calling attention to on the table, and he would find the cards. Found all the cards in interesting ways. Well done. But that last card, it was basically Fusillade or any one of those variations. Yeah, the multiple selection routine. But then he takes that last card, that signed card, and you just look at this wine bottle that's sitting on the table, and you see that signed card in the wine bottle. Now, I love this plot, and I've researched this, and I've gone through a bunch of different versions. I ain't never seen that one. This is something new for me. This was really, really incredible. Now, I'm banking on the fact that he was not using, we know he wasn't using a stooge because it was Gay Blackstone.
Right, she signed the card.
Yeah. Hopefully she had not signed another card previously.
No, as a matter of fact, we had it for dinner. Tonight we had the bottle. We were eating pizza.
Oh.
And she had the bottle and said, "Well, why don't we drink this? Because I'd like to keep the bottle. I don't need to be drinking the alcohol back."
Right.
So,
good.
It was in there.
And did the card add to the taste of the wine?
It had a little papyrus kind of a flavor. had hints of papyrus.
Hints of papyrus. I don't think I've heard that description. Yes. I don't think I've heard that description before. So we went right from close-up
Literally,
to
we
stage.
had like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and unfortunately I had to miss the first few acts because I had to take care of some business in the dealer room.
And so while we're talking about that, we're going to take just a quick break because we are going to now turn it back over to me when I was talking with Max Droge, and he and I sat together and watched the first few acts before you came in, and we quickly kind of went through a quick recap of who did what and everything. So you can listen to that right now, and then we'll come right back then and finish the rest of the competition. We just went into the stage contest directly from the close-up contest. Actually, Marc DeSouza had to go into the dealer's room to for a couple of business things, and he's going to be coming in shortly. So we're going to be talking in between some of these acts here with Steve Max Droge, who is a friend of the Magic Words. Hello, then, Max. Good to see you.
Hello, hi.
You come to a lot of these conventions, I know.
Mr. Wells. Everybody calls you Scotty. I decided this week I was going to call you Mr. Wells.
I feel so special. But I did not make the first act, so I want you to fill me in. What happened?
All right, so it was Alberto, I'm going to slaughter the last name, Giorgi, and Laura out of Italy. The whole stage was set. It was Grand Illusion. The stage was set with all kinds of steampunk mechanisms. The first thing he did was he put Laura inside this accordion bellows that folded up, and she disappeared and wound up in this little tiny box, maybe just a 1 foot by 1 foot clear box. and he carried her away from the first prop. And as he carried her away, he lifted up the curtain, and you could see that she was scrunched up inside this little box, and that her hand waved at the audience. And then they brought her over to another prop, and there was like green ectoplasm, or I guess he turned her into green ectoplasm. The one thing I wanted to comment on that was, like, when she was inside the small box and he lifted up the curtain, she kind of waved at the audience, and I thought, if she's scrunched up in a little box, she's going to, like, knock on the glass and try to get it. It was like, hi,
right.
Here I am. And then he proceeded for the next couple minutes to build this huge monster. It was like one of these animated monsters with all kinds of armored.
Like you said, it was also kind of a steampunk type of.
Oh yeah, the whole thing was steampunk. And then there was a switch, and he wound up as the crazy monster at the end. Or it wasn't crazy; it's just this big monster at the end. Took off all the parts, and he was there. And it was like an old Blackstone switch that I remember seeing Blackstone do.
Oh yeah,
Abbott's
with the Wizard.
Back in 1976 or something like that. So
that was the end of that.
Yeah, that was the end. She did appear out of a clear steampunk box that was just filled with smoke, just so much smoke. It was unbelievable. So that was it. He got a good applause. Did
you get a standing ovation for that?
I think from the Italians.
Oh, okay, because it was a local Italy.
Yeah,
Italian.
well, yeah, they really. You can hear, like, when he introduced certain people, you can hear there's
there's a big contingent of people from there, their fans, right? Team Germany and a lot of France or Italy, right?
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to say about him was I want to see more facial expression.
Yeah.
At one point, there was only 2 points where he looked out at the audience. Everything else, he was looking at the props. The eyes are the windows to the soul.
All right. Well, we're getting ready for the next act over here, and so we'll pick it up here shortly. The next act we saw, the second act, was from Chinese Taipei, Li Yadong, and his was a manipulation act that was phenomenal.
Yeah, really tight-fitting tux, double-breasted suit. No tails, nothing. Right. It was really a really tight suit, which was amazing to me. My problem with some of the manipulators is there's no facial expression at all. I don't know if... I guess that's... I don't know. Just in the past 8, 10, 15 years... They'll let their hands do the talking, I suppose.
Right.
I don't know. I like to see facial expressions. I like to see, people smile and stuff like this. In fact, he almost looked like he was disgruntled, a disgruntled employee, of the post office or something like that for a long time. And when I go to these contests, I make incredible notes, books full of notes. And for this act, I also bring binoculars. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
If things are too dimly lit, I bring the binoculars up to my face. Now, I don't want to reveal any tricks, but I think with binoculars, and I think the judges must also see items that are helping present the magic. What I liked was between his outstretched front hands, there were at least 6 cards that were like caught in gravity, like they were separated.
Right, like they were floating there or something. It was just pretty amazing. Well, to begin with, he started off like changing a flower,
a little plume, a little white plume to a card,
feather,
and that was he used a couple feathers throughout. When the cards were in the outstretched hand, each one was a different color, and it changed, I think, to a white card, one by one by one by one. And his hands didn't move. Unbelievable. Also, at the end, I saw him do something I've never seen anybody else do. And that was, of course, not confetti, but the cards, whatever he had, a fan or something like that, changed into, I want to say they were like milkweed pods.
That's a good way of describing it. Yeah, they were.
And they
something
just
kind of floated,
They just sat there and float in
like
mid-air.
cottonwood or something. A type
Yeah.
of.
Oh, yeah. Oh, from Texas.
Yes,
right?
right.
Okay, up in New York, we have milkweed.
I know milkweed too.
And they just sat there. They
Suspended
didn't
in there,
explode.
yeah.
There was like no explosion, but they exploded. Like there was no fire or anything like that. But they just exploded into 10 foot by 10 foot round cloud.
It was a cloud.
Would you say it was cotton?
A cloud. Yeah, there was a cloud. Like I said, a cottonwood.
Cottonwood.
Basically. But I thought also just the fact that he made all these cards change that were
Of
blanks,
course. Yeah.
and I've not seen anything like this, in
Yeah,
which he
yeah,
has
that
the
was-
cards fanned between his fingers, and then without turning around or anything, one by one they would change
Yeah, they would
colors,
change colors.
and then at the end they changed to a rainbow.
Yeah.
And then they were
Right.
appearing and disappearing and changing colors.
Yeah.
People were just
Yeah.
oohing and eyeing and gasping
Oh,
and
yeah, standing
breaking
ovation.
out in spontaneous applause. I mean, it was just a great, great act.
Yeah. Oh, always. Oh,
Standing
yeah.
ovation then at the end. Brought that down.
And that's when we saw a facial expression from him. You know, he came
Yes.
out and that's usually when you see the facial expressions. Like,
Yeah.
but I don't get the no facial expression bit.
The next guy was from Thailand, Bat Magic. And when he came out, I thought to begin with he's going to be doing something that requires us not to see what's happening because it was dark. And so
Very
I
dark.
thought,
I got my binoculars out on that one. It was all, excuse me, all LED vest, cane
That's what it
LED.
was.
And I thought, you know, I want to go. This would be an act that would be terrific at Burning Man if you're like on mushrooms.
That's funny. I thought what was pretty cool was the way that he integrated the LED screens from his shirt that went to his arms to his hat.
Yeah, that
but
was cool.
Then whenever, like for an example, that there was a light that went from his chest down his arm, and then suddenly a card would appear,
Yeah,
and the color that matched what went down, like
Yes.
a yellow card, an orange card, or a blue card, whatever it was.
I can't imagine how long it would take to program LEDs like that. I just can't imagine. You know, it's not my field. Maybe it's real easy. I don't know, but
Well, he
you
had
know,
it timed perfectly, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, all the colors, the shapes.
And not just the colors and shapes, but also the sequence, I guess,
Yes.
of that it was working on his chest and then went
Right.
Jumped to his hat. He started out with
Yeah.
kind of a cane that
Yep.
was an LED cane,
Yeah.
and then he produced the lights on it. As I said, that was what I thought at first was going to be some floating cane or something. It wasn't nothing really particularly
Because
floated.
that's where we've
Yeah.
seen LED.
It was
lights.
really just an LED show, which was really good.
Yeah, and he had crazy hair.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
A couple of different colors in his hair. I love people's hair. We've seen a lot of dreadlocks. We've seen a lot of ponytails.
Yes.
And we've seen a lot of crazy colored hair and beards.
Yes, and beards, that's true. And then in the close-up shot, we saw one guy actually lose his head.
Oh, God, was that unbelievable?
Yeah.
How wild was that?
Yeah, Mark and I will talk about that here a little bit later over here. But anyhow, Max, thanks very much.
Yeah.
So I saw that Marc DeSouza got back over here, so he and I will pick up the pick it up from here.
Great.
So allow you to enjoy the rest of this without me bugging you.
You too, Mr. Wells.
That was Max Droge. Scotty out. All right, so we are now back with the rest of the competition for the stage.
Right, so I walked in time to see Brandon Peel, who did a mental routine. Interesting premise. He was talking about different countries and being able to identify countries by just the shape of the country. And he had a map, and he had all these pieces of different countries that he had a number selected, and he was able to first identify them by looking at the pieces and could identify the country. There was also a book that had all of these countries in them with facts about the country, like the number of square miles or the population, this and that. So he identifies the piece, then he identifies whatever he has him turn to that page in the book. And then he does it without looking at them, just feeling them. And then the last one, he doesn't even look at and is just able to identify it completely. And then the final revelation of that last one, there's a suitcase been sitting on stage. He takes the cover off the suitcase, and it has the name of the country written on it.
Yeah.
So Nice idea. Not a blockbuster, but a nice idea. He was followed by Artem Shukin, who did
comedy.
Great comedy. Yeah, he was in the comedy category. Completely different act than everybody has seen previously. He's been doing this act around some conventions now.
Yes and no. I've seen him do this comedy routine, but each time I've seen this, he's added a few more things.
Exactly.
I mean, like his head getting, not just stuck, but coming off, and a few other bits that are in this that he's added that's brought it a whole nother level up.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's basically takes place in an airport. He's going to catch his plane. He's got his carry-ons and some bags. And this toilet paper is stuck to his shoe. He tries to get it off. And this toilet paper just starts acting up, flying around him, flying around the suitcase, getting stuck in the handle of the suitcase, back and forth and back and forth. And then his head gets stuck in the handle of the suitcase. And as you alluded to, at one point he kind of turns it, and just the head comes off his body. And then it goes back on. Very surprising. It's 2 decapitations in one day. You know,
in the close-up, which you never see. Well, period.
Hardly ever.
Yeah.
Hardly ever. But the toilet paper is flying all over the place. It's like a dancing act with toilet paper. And eventually, it ends up this long piece of toilet paper dragging him fully across the stage, prone on the stage. Yeah, it's a great finish, great reaction, and I'm hoping he gets something. Next act was one of those acts that, this is why we come to FISM. A young lady from France named Callista. She comes out as an old woman with a cane. And the theme of the act, it's a storyline, it's reverse aging.
Like Benjamin Button.
Exactly. And so I called it slow, quick change. It is...
That's a good way of putting it.
It is her costume and entire body and demeanor change. When I say body, I mean it, because she goes from this old woman to, she starts reverse aging, and she produces a baby. She's holding a baby. And then the baby's gone, and now she's pregnant. Obviously pregnant, and now she's not pregnant, and now she's a younger woman. And then she becomes a teenager with headphones on, and then becomes a child, and then a baby, and then all of a sudden, the baby becomes the old woman again, like instantly. And she got a standing O at that point, but she wasn't done.
She wasn't finished.
Yeah, because she starts walking with the cane, and at one point just stops and looks at the audience, lets go of the cane, and it stands up by itself, and she disappears.
And she takes her shawl.
Yeah, it takes the shawl off and throws it in the air, and boom.
And when the shawl landed, she was gone.
She was gone. She was gone.
The
Bare
shawl
stage.
and invisibility.
Bare stage.
Yeah.
And boy, she got an even bigger standing O. I mean, this is going to be one of the acts everybody's going to talk about this year. Absolutely beautiful. And interesting, because we get to see just a couple more. We get to see the real quick change and the quickest of the quick change acts. But we'll talk about that in a moment. Sergei Delizzo, a manipulative type act, starts with a white string that becomes white cards, and sometimes the cards become red, and he produces more cards and more string, and the string starts pulling the cards down into this container, and he pulls them back up. And it's just a series of card productions and transpositions. Eventually, a fan of these white cards changes to a fountain of string, and then his hands become tied together. So he had a lot of visual changes in this thing. Interesting act. Yeah. Very interesting act. Followed by Kelvin Chang. This is a maintenance guy trying to fix a lamppost, but when it starts out, you just see the lamppost, and you hear Vivaldi's Four Seasons, and so you're thinking, oh, Lance Burton. Yeah, but that stops quickly. And it's a whole bunch of bits he does with tools to fix this lamp that's broken. And it was really a very clever act, one of those great theme acts. Lots of tricks with tools where you have like screwdrivers visibly vanishing from one tip to the other. Just a fun act. Eventually, I think he produces a balloon.
He had a balloon, blew it up, and then
it shrinks down and becomes the lit lamp, which then floats over to the lamp, and that fixes the lamp.
Yeah, I thought it was very clever, kind of an idea. It was hearkening, obviously, to Lance Burton because everybody remembers that act. And it's like, we're going to get to see something amazing.
It was iconic.
That's right, it was iconic. It's kind of like, well, he's the electrician who fixes the lamp that Lance uses.
Exactly.
Very funny.
Yeah, very clever idea. Followed by Adrian Caratola and Katarina. This is an act, I don't know if I saw it at a convention. It may have been at the last FISM. Interesting act it was a mental routine with a teapot, and a location is selected, and
That might have been in Magic, Texas when they.
it may have been.
Maybe
No,
it wasn't there.
Texas.
We did see this somewhere though.
Yeah, we did. But they eventually break the teapot and put the pieces on a stand together, and a light shines through it, and it's the silhouette that's supposed to represent the location that was selected. Didn't seem to work this time.
Did not work. It looked like a blob.
Yeah.
It didn't quite. I don't know whether they had them aligned properly or something, but the end effect didn't come through.
Yep.
I've seen it better.
Yep. Exactly. The first time we saw it, it worked.
Yeah.
He was followed by Leah Kyle from France.
Her act worked perfectly.
Yeah. So Leah Kyle competed on AGT, went very far on AGT. Competed at the last FISM, and the criticisms that I had heard were she's got this backdrop, this big backdrop, and there's people back there pulling these things to make the costume changes happen. Well, I guess she was sick and tired of hearing that. This time, no such thing. Everything was bare stage, self-contained. Everything worked. I think everything was worked by her and her alone. This series of incredible, not only incredible, but incredibly creative costume changes. She was spot on today. Absolutely great.
Yeah, the staging of it made it look as if it was a tailor's office or a seamstress's office, where you could see dresses on mannequins and forms and like that.
Yeah, and she had started with a sewing machine, in fact.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So very, very good. So much creativity in this.
Amazing.
Yeah. Followed by Yoon Jae Sob. Starts with a ball that floats off the floor to his hand, which becomes a silk, which becomes a white stick, which becomes a white feather, which becomes white cards. I mean, it's just this constant morphing of things. There were fantastic productions of white cards, both singles and fans, but these cards are consistently disappearing into bursts of confetti. I'm not talking about once, twice, 3 times. I'm talking about dozens of times. He produced a card, boom, it's gone. Produced a card, boom, it's gone. Produced a card, boom, it's gone. It was just, literally pyrotechnics. When this act was over, I said, I am so happy that I'm no longer competing and that I've aged out of this, because I will not do manipulation anymore if this is the level of this stuff.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah. It's just incredible. Just incredible. There was a break then. Fortunately, they notified us there was a 15-minute break, so we could do whatever we had to do in those 15 minutes. I came back with Nigel from the UK. This is an action film illusion act. When that curtain opened up, I was like, wow, this is going to be something. Great set pieces, a taxi. I mean, it was just really cool. It was an Asian setting.
With these neon lights that looked like it was in some place in Tokyo or wherever.
So it was obvious that, from the sirens and everything, this taxi cab had just crashed. And they came staggering out of the cab. And then all of a sudden, there were these demons that came out of the hood of the taxi.
Yeah, big red eyes and these black hoods and these kind of, what would you call those hats that are like a big sombrero thing?
Yeah, it was
Anyhow, they were creepy looking.
Yeah, creepy
looking.
It looked like a movie set. I mean, it really did. And they surrounded him. They were going to attack him. And then she got in the...
Well, now before that, after they got up, for some reason, that he went up the top of this thing where
it
was like a
this
phone
pagoda kind of thing. Yeah, and he opened it up, and this red thing came out and flew toward the taxi, and that's when the demons came out.
Yes.
But this thing was empty otherwise. Or there was a stick in it. There was a stick in it, because he goes to get the stick to battle off the demons.
Right.
But they do a substitution trunk on the roof of the taxi cab.
Yes.
Which has got to be the easiest thing in the world, because nobody came up to examine it. But it was a very clever idea.
Very clever.
And then the hood of the taxi opens up, and now it's set on fire, and the girl.
And these
is
ninja
trapped
things are
inside.
holding him back from saving her, and he's trying to, like you said, it's an action movie kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
And so the cab is on fire.
Right. And eventually he floats into the air, scaring them off, and they go into the pagoda, and the doors close, and he takes a fire extinguisher and hoses down the taxi to put out the fire, and she's not there.
Right.
And then the doors of the pagoda open, and the demons are gone, and she's standing there instead. Very clever, but I mean, it was admirable how much work that they put into this.
And at the end, she came out of the pagoda, and the two of them got in the cab, as if they were
Right.
going to drive up, because the cab actually moved, like it
Right.
came back to life. And
Exactly.
here's my take on this. This is far out, and that is, I think they died. In other words, think about this, that she was reincarnated. I mean, in other words, she ascended and ended up in this pagoda when
Yep.
she changed places, so she was dead.
Yeah.
And he also, I guess, when he was trying to battle with these demons, had lost the fight. And so when he got into the cab, the two of them were driving off into eternity.
I like that take. Works for me.
Yeah.
As it was. It was a cool illusion.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, it was fun. Followed by Maurice Grange. Now, this is one heck of an unusual manipulation act. This is a 20-year-old kid who comes out, looking very cool and, very stylized tales, and starts talking to the audience about his life as he's doing manipulation. I'm a manipulator.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah. And he's doing beautiful ball and card manipulation.
20 years old?
20 years old, and making jokes about how hard this is and the techniques all the time. And then he eventually says, well, but I can do this to music too. And then the music starts, and now he kicks it into high gear,
Yeah.
finishes up by coming back into the script, and just got a phenomenal ovation. Rarely do you get to see a manipulator who connects with the audience. I mean, really connects with the audience,
Right.
telling them his story, and it's full
Yeah, about
marks
dating
to him.
girls and all this kind of thing. And what
yeah,
he
I'm a
does.
manipulator, and I have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Jokes like that. It's pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. He was followed by Filberto Selvi from Italy. Again, this is an act we've seen several times at competition. It's the violin act of the street worker.
Yeah, like he's working a subway or something, and he's playing the violin, and behind him is a cello case, I guess,
Exactly.
basically.
Yep.
He
But that's
lives
got
out of,
drawers.
yeah.
It's got drawers in it and other stuff, and it's this whole dream sequence kind of thing where it's productions of money. That's what it is. It's his dream of getting lots of money.
And he has like a miser's touch. Is that the one?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything he touches turns to gold.
Yeah.
Until he touches the can that's catching all the coins, and now it stops, and everything that had turned gold turns back.
Disintegrates.
Yeah. And his life is a shambles. The violin disintegrates. The bow disappears. I mean, everything's gone.
Yeah.
But then there's one more coin that's in a crystal glass at the top of that cello case that he takes out, and now things return. I won't say to normal, but a little better, because now he produces a lit violin and a lit bow, and
Yeah.
all is well in the world again.
Yeah.
So
He can go back to begging for money.
yeah,
Yeah.
good solid act.
It was.
Followed by Damien Dubai, a mentalism routine about coincidences, thought of objects. Somebody thinks, so he gives a pad to somebody to draw something, and then has somebody else think of something, and the drawing matches the thought of it, which is kind of a clever idea, but I thought it was a bit obvious methodology-wise. Did a couple of other coincidence things, had a real nice PK touches routine.
PK touch was good, yeah.
Yeah, really, really good.
We saw a variation of that yesterday that was better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. Followed by Giannis Y. This is one of those acts you're not expecting. Guy comes out as the world's greatest, the greatest snake charmer in Tunisia. And he's
Very
got this
accommodating,
little flute, and
yeah.
he's trying to play, to charm the snake, and it's not working. And then it starts making weird noises, and the snake jumps out of the basket and runs off. And then he reaches in the basket and pulls out an Aladdin's lamp, and then he rubs the lamp, and he's granted a wish. He wants to become a rock star. So now everything starts changing to rock and roll. So his costuming, changed to just rocker stuff.
Makeup like Kiss.
Exactly. Yeah. He produces cymbals. He's got drumsticks. He's doing like flip stick stuff, but he's producing cymbals, and eventually produces a guitar, and then the table turns to a Marshall stack, a stack of amps, and just obviously rock and roll beat. But I mean, it was great fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Pyrotechnics also.
Oh yeah, pyrotechnics galore.
I guess I should point out this is unusual because we were at a convention in a place I think you mentioned even yesterday cannot be done anywhere in the States.
Yeah, exactly.
And also they use confetti, which can't be used in any theater in the United States.
Exactly.
We are seeing things over here that are just off the chart.
Yeah. These are becoming no-touch zones for any convention, let alone any of the Magic theaters. Certainly.
Yeah.
Followed by Devon Park, another nice act with streamers turning to a light that floats in the air, and he's doing these things with sticks that light up and then becomes dancing canes, and he's working with dual dancing canes with lights on the end. Some interesting visuals, but nothing really incredible. And he was followed by Nikki Nixon. Nikki Nixon looked like a classic manipulative act, and in fact it was. Probably of all the acts, this was the one that matched the old-style manipulation acts from the 70s and 80s. Starts with a very nice visual color-changing candle, which becomes a ball, and then he goes into a lot of ball manipulation, some real nice stuff. Goes into card manipulation. Again, all good, solid stuff, but it's stuff we've been seeing for years, and anywhere else, there's a good act.
Yeah, was he one who
You'll be happy to watch this act anywhere else. At FISM, it's like, and
was he the one doing the music, the tango music?
Yes.
Yeah.
So nice try, but you need to
Step it up for FISM.
You need a better A game.
So that was number 18 out of 23.
Exactly, and that's where I begged off because I had a dinner reservation to get to. So hopefully. Did you and Max talk about it?
No.
Okay, so we'll just go through. Andrei Babici followed him. Rafael Skirkol, Javi Rufo, who competed in close-up yesterday with the two balls. So I would love to have seen him. Everton Machado, I don't know anything about. They finished today with Alain Simonov, who's a wonderful card manipulator, and I'm sorry that I missed his act.
I did hear that somebody, and I don't know which one of these finalists, I should say the ones who were the final few, apparently was doing a strip act that went to the full Monty.
Oh my goodness!
Yes, and he just ended up like holding a fan of cards in front of his crotch or something.
Well, there's a FISM first.
Yeah. Again, only see it here at FISM.
Yeah. Oh, you.
But Trixie was telling me about this. Said, "Oh, you missed it." And I said, "Are you absolutely serious?" He said, "Yeah, that guy like stripped down everything."
I'm sure Trixie was enjoying the act.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. And then real briefly, I just want to go through, although we're not going to talk about the acts that they did, but I do want to run through real quickly the Grand Gala show. As I mentioned, Mike Caden was the MC. Florian Sandvert was
Florian
Sandvert.
Sandvert.
And what was it he did? I'm sorry.
Well, he does an act. It's kind of like a robot character with the stuff that lights up on his costume.
Kind of a thing.
Yeah, but nice manipulative stuff. Very clever. Very clever.
Jason Latterman, by the way, opened and with his laser mirror act kind of a thing. It was about a 3 to 6 minute act or something that before Mike came out. So that's a good way of kicking off. Yeah, and then Florian, and then Sauce and Victoria. That's
Peter
not the
Marvey.
right order. Peter Marvey was next.
Yeah, Peter Marvey, who you said did manipulate a routine, but not the act is known.
Right.
And when I came in, we had a dinner appointment. When I came in,
did you see Klek Ektos?
Well, I did see Klek, but before him was Hector Mancha. Hector Mancha doing the pickpocket routine.
That's right. I thought he was. They said he was going to do some mentalism or something, and he ended up doing a Ricky
routine.
Dunn routine.
Yeah, it was very clever. Very clever. Yes, Klek Entos, who did his weird stuff.
Yeah.
Again, Klek was another AGT guy. Mm-hmm. Went pretty far on AGT, and with good reason. It was very, very good. Very fun thing. And I think
Otto Wesley.
Well, they took a break then. There was Kleck the last... Oh, no, Maxim was the last act on the first half, which an Italian fellow who does a bird act that, boy, is this good. Really, really good. And it's only a second bird act we've seen here at FISM, one in competition. And this
he looked
one
like
tonight.
Channing Pollock. I mean, it was so elegant.
Yeah, very elegant, but he's got some very different stuff, some very visual dove productions.
And vanishes. Oh, my gosh.
The cage vanish?
Yeah, so the cage vanish,
yeah.
I've got to say, everyone was expecting, I mean, to begin with, when he comes out, there's just the typical bird cage that's on the table. And he picks it up and walks up, but you can see a light through there, so you can still see the bars and everything. And he sets it on the floor. You want to explain what happened then next?
Yeah, and it's covered with the cloth, and then it floats up. He picks it up, and it floats off his hand. It just kind of goes up. It's lifted into the air. And he basically reaches
above
up
his head.
Above his head, he reaches up, and just like an Azra, he just pulls the cloth, and it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. Don't think it's an act you can work everywhere.
No, I'm sure.
But boy, wherever you can work it.
But other things that he was doing during that show, I mean, it was beautiful and creative, and the way that he produced the doves at his fingertips.
Oh, it's just magnificent.
Where and the candles that appeared, the vanishing or appearing candles, he just had. It's just amazing.
It was a great act. I'd love to see him again. He's very, very good. So we took we didn't take a break, actually. Mike said that's the end of the early show. Now we're going to get in a late show. But first I got to have a cup of coffee. And, of course, he did his juggling routine with the hoop and the coffee cup. And in the second half, we got to see, I think Kleck was in the second half.
He was.
Kleck Gentos was in the second half. Tony Freeberg, who's this amazing Diablo juggler from
Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah. You know, of course, instant standing ovation. You expect that from any juggler at a magic convention. Any juggler worth his salt. We had Eric Slogan, an Italian illusionist who lives in France now, doing his scissor illusions. He has a scissor suspension impaled combination and then a blade box with scissors instead. And production, Vanish of a Girl, reproduction of the girl, and the production of two more girls. Beautiful props. Yeah, everything looks good. Otto Wesley. Now, I got to tell you, I met Otto Wesley in the early 70s when he was touring with Ricciardi, and he was nuts back then. He's just got crazier. Oh my gosh, what a funny act.
Yeah.
It's just, and this is an act, he does this act for laymen.
I was thinking like Colin Companies, what kind of came to mind.
No.
But
it makes Cole look calm. He's just super angry. And he finishes, I mean, the razor blades, which is what he did with Ricciardi. He's swallowing 150 razor blades and then a whole bunch of thread, and then just starts pulling out these strings and strings. And he's like basically going back and forth across the stage with these blades. And his assistant, the ever-suffering Krista, oh my gosh, the gags that he does with her now are just, they're so funny. They're
very funny. I like what Mike said about it. This is like if a train ran into a train wreck.
Exactly. If a train wreck ran into a train wreck.
Yeah.
Celia Munoz was on this half. She is Miguel's sister, who was on AGT again. Mm-hmm. She, during the pandemic, decided to become a ventriloquist instead of an opera singer. She's a trained opera singer. And she does unique ventriloquial acts because she doesn't work with any dummies.
With any figures, right.
And there's no figures. So she did this mock seance bringing back a famous opera singer. And what a great routine. And her lip control is great, and she's singing opera as a ventriloquist.
Nobody can do what she does, I think.
Nope.
Amazing.
No,
I've never seen anything like this. Well, she was at Magic Live, I think, last year when I first saw her. It was amazing.
Yeah. And finished up with Matteo Fraziano, who is an Italian shadow artist.
That's right.
And he did some nice, more standard type shadows, but then he starts doing magic shadows. And he was doing like Penn and Teller, Juan Tamariz. It was just great fun. So it was a lovely way to end the show.
But besides that, there were others that he was doing that I had not seen before. Freddie Mercury and some other.
Yeah. Elton John.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great stuff.
Playing the piano even.
Yep. Yeah. Great stuff.
So, anyhow, those are more details than we were planning on going into, but I just thought you should get a good overview of what the amazing show was that we had. And as you said, Topaz show is going on then right now that we probably are missing. or have missed. It
We
is
have
over,
missed.
so we're going to be taking this to bed here shortly. So that was a wrap on day 3, and tomorrow, or actually today, is Friday.
It is today.
We're going to be soon waking up and starting this all over again because we got close up again and
And stage.
another stage tomorrow afternoon.
Oh my gosh! I hope we can survive
And
this.
tomorrow is the last of the stage. Is that right? There won't be any
Yes.
stage Saturday afternoon.
I know. I think it's the last of both. I believe. Let me check.
I think there's a close up on Saturday, but I may be wrong on that.
There's Holy Mass. No, there's no competitions because the award ceremony is at 11 o'clock.
In the morning?
Yes, 11 o'clock in the morning. It's the award ceremony because later that night is the
Gala.
award show,
Okay.
which is the actual Grand Prix competition. So what happens is they give out the standard awards, but you have to achieve a certain amount of points to qualify for Grand Prix. So the show that night will be all of the acts that have qualified for Grand Prix competing against each other. And it's that performance that will determine who the Grand Prix winners
So we
are.
know who the winners are as first, second, and third.
Correct.
If there is, because you have to have
Correct.
certain enough points to get
Exactly.
into that category.
Exactly.
But then that evening will be presented for the whole group, and then the
Exactly.
judges vote on the Grand Prix.
Yes, it's a different set of judges.
Okay.
Different set of judges for Grand Prix.
So the award ceremony is Saturday morning. So
Yep.
I got nominated for my podcast.
Oh,
and so
hopefully they're going to be giving those awards at the same time.
that's what I'm wondering about the
Oh,
online award.
yeah,
If
yeah.
that comes in.
Well, good luck.
Well, I'm glad you told me
I
because
know-
I
I
was
know
planning
who-
and thinking it was that night.
I knew who I voted for.
Well, thank you, my friend.
I didn't say it was you.
Well,
no,
I
it
thank
was
you for voting. And I thank everybody else out there for voting then, too. And before I forget it, by the way, I want to thank people who have become friends of the Magic Word. There's a friend of mine, John McElroy, who has become a friend of the Magic Word, and thank you for your pledge. I appreciate it. And Stephen Max Droge also re-upped his membership as well. And so thank all of you guys and gals who support it with your financial backing, and that kind of helps keep us going and defrays all of our costs. Mark's been a good supporter, again, for a long time and a friend of the Magic Word. And you can, too, if you'll just go and check it out. Go to themagicwordpodcast.com. There you'll find a little tab that'll say Become a Friend, and you can watch a video to understand more about why it is that we need your financial support to keep these kind of podcasts not only free, but also allow me to go to these conventions to give you these kinds of detailed reports, and I certainly appreciate it. Well, I think that's more than enough for today, and for those of you who are looking and listening for more conversations with some of the people who are here, I'm sorry we haven't had time to do that because of watching the competition, number one, and number two, by the time Mark and I are finished, that pretty much is more than an hour's worth of good material right there. And that's what this FISM is all about, is the competitions. And I think that's what you really want to hear anyhow. So that's why we don't have as many conversations like we normally do at a regular convention, like you'll be hearing here before long when I get over to Colin for Abbott's and then again at Magic Live. So, Mark, I think I'm going to shut up now and we're going to go to bed. Or I'm
Yes.
going to bed. You can go wherever
I'm
you
going
want.
to bed.
Okay.
I got to get to my hotel.
And I'm going to go put this podcast to bed. So, for the Magic Word Podcast, that was Marc DeSouza.
Good night.
And this is Scotty out. See you tomorrow.